Welcome back to the Vibe Podcast, where real conversations meet real energy. I'm so glad you're here. This is your space for truth, growth, and alignment. No filters, no pretending. Now let's tap in, because today we're talking about patterns. Let's be honest. Have you ever said, why do I keep attracting the same type of person? Different name, different look, but somehow, same situation, same inconsistency, same confusion, same emotional roller coaster, and it starts to feel like bad luck. But here's the truth. It's not random. We don't just attract what we want, we attract what we're available for. And availability isn't just about who you say you want, it's about what you tolerate, what you entertain, and what you believe you deserve. Because if deep down you don't fully feel worthy of consistency, you'll unconsciously accept inconsistency. If you're used to chasing, you'll feel drawn to people who make you chase. If you confuse intensity with connection, you'll keep choosing situations that feel like a high, not a foundation. This is where patterns live, not just in your choices, but in your comfort zones, because even unhealthy patterns can feel familiar, and what's familiar feels safe. So you meet someone new, but instead of choosing differently, you respond the same way. You ignore the early signs, you overextend, you give the benefit of the doubt again, and before you know it, you're right back in a situation that feels very familiar, not because that's all that's out there, but because that's what you're aligned with right now. And that's not about blame, that's about awareness. Because once you see the pattern, you have the power to break it. But breaking it requires doing something different, saying no sooner, walking away faster, choosing peace over potential. And that's where most people struggle, because growth will ask you to release what feels familiar, even if it's not good for you. All right, let's get into a vibe check. Someone writes in and says, I keep meeting people who start off great, but then they pull back or become inconsistent. I don't understand why this keeps happening to me. Here's the real. It's not just about who you're meeting, it's about what you're allowing once you meet them, because the first sign of inconsistency, that's your moment. That's where the pattern either continues or ends. But if you stay, if you over explain, if you try to fix the situation, you're reinforcing the pattern. You're telling yourself, this is okay, and your energy follows that. So the shift isn't, how do I find better people? The shift is, how do I become unavailable for what doesn't align? That's how patterns break. Here's the unfiltered truth. You're not attracting the wrong people. You're choosing what feels familiar over what's actually right for you. And until that changes, the pattern will repeat. All right, let's close this out with a message from the Oracle. Take a breath, ground yourself, and just receive. The message is, choose differently, even when it feels uncomfortable. That's the work. Because your next level isn't going to feel natural at first. It's going to feel unfamiliar. It's going to feel quiet. It's going to feel steady. And you might even question it because you're used to chaos feeling like connection. But this is your reminder. Peace is not boring. It's aligned, and you deserve that. Thank you for tapping into today's episode of the Vibe Podcast. Send in your questions so we can get into them on the next episode. And remember, protect your energy, trust your intuition, and I'll see you in the next vibe.